Hey guys, welcome back to another Rainbow Six Siege video. So today, I have decided to do a tip video on Rainbow Six Siege from what I have experienced so far from playing the game. So I'm just gonna go right into it, and hopefully you learn something from this video. Today we have a sponsor, which is myself, so make sure to like and subscribe, or don't like if you don't like it. I don't care. You can dislike if you feel like it, but please just subscribe because it'll help me out. So, the very first tip that I'm going to put out there is using your drone. I've seen this so many times, and if you really are serious about going up in rank and you really want to, you need to use your drone often. It's such a good resource because it can give away enemy positions that you had no idea that they could even be. But if you drone, you know exactly where they are. You can even pre-fire it, and it gives you that advantage to get the kill. So, another thing for ranked is when you're banning the operators, don't just randomly ban operators like, let's say, Jackal or Echo, since, you know, they're the most popular. Sure, they're good, but on some maps, they're not going to be as useful as others, and you really need to think through what operator is actually going to be a good ban for that game. So, another one is communication. Every team has to communicate with each other, because if you just sit there, let's say you don't use your mic, you don't have a team, you don't play with your friends, you just solo queue all the time, and there's no communications. If you die, there's no callouts, no nothing. That's going to be horrible, and that can just throw the entire game, because you need to have communication. Alright, the next tip is to be able to play many operators. You can't just main one operator, because if one of your teammates takes it, then what are you going to do? And you have to be flexible with your playstyles and your roles, like fragging or support. You can't just pick one role and stick with it, because your teammates may not be able to do that. And of course, once you get a set team with your friends or something, you can just set down roles, but you still won't be able to just main one operator. Okay, so next tip is to adapt to your enemy's playstyle. So if they're playing very aggressive, maybe you'll want to hold tight angles and just wait for them. Just do holding angles. And it really just depends on what your enemy is doing. So you basically see how they're playing, you make a strategy based off of it, and this can really help in the late game. The next tip is to change your own strategy from round to round, because this can counter for the other team too. It can go either way. So if they figure out your strategy, then you're not going to want to use it again, because then they know, and they know how to counter that. But if you switch up your strategies every round, then they're not going to know how to counter that, and it's going to be very hard for them to figure out your strategy, except you're not going to have one specific one. You should have somewhere between like maybe 3 to 5. Alright. The next one is what is called doing vertical play, which is where you play from above or below your enemy, and you don't see a whole bunch of this in casuals and stuff, but you want to be like either a floor above them or below them. Pulse is very good for vertical play, and that will help your team. And Pulse is just good because you can see through floors and stuff, but vertical play is very important. You can't just have everybody sitting on site. Alright, the next tip is to play the whole map. So basically, a lot of people get tunnel vision on the objective, and they don't pay attention to the rest of the map. But you need to pay attention to the map, and you need to go around. You're going to have roamers, and your roamers are going to have to be good at communicating. Alright. One of the last tips is to get the most out of your utility. So you're going to have, let's say, if you go Valkyrie, you're going to have cams. You are going to have to be able to place those cams in a good spot and not get destroyed, so it can help your team in the late game. Valkyrie is a very good operator, and Mozzie, in my opinion, is one of the best operators, but you're going to have to be able to use them to get the most ability out of that operator. And then the last one, again, it's basically callouts. So if you hear a footstep, that can be the difference between winning and losing if you just communicate between your teammates where you heard that footstep, like where it was from, that can be a big game changer. That can change the entire match. Because let's say that was the last person. It's a 1v1. Somebody's on cams, and you can hear people in the cam. So if you're sitting on a cam, even if you can't hear them, or see them, you can hear them, and that can be very useful. So if you just listen for your teammates instead of just thinking, oh, I don't see anyone, next cam, you can listen and give callouts depending on what you hear, which can help your teammates. So those are my tips for getting better in Rainbow Six Siege and rank specifically. If you want to go up a few ranks, I hope these help you. And there's just one last tiny tip that I'd like to give you. You probably already knew this, but just in case you didn't, it might take a while to get used to, but always aim either chest or head level. Chest, because they might be crouching, so you might want to look down a little bit, but you usually want to be aiming head level if you're rolling around and stuff, because if you start shooting their chest and they pop off a headshot on you, well, there's nothing you can do about that. Unless you were aiming at their head too, and then you just instantly get the shot off and you win. You kill the guy, you win the 1v1. So that's my final tip. I hope you enjoyed these tips that I have gave you. I hope they help you in the future and that they help you get up a couple of ranks. This is Platypus. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you want more tips like this, and I'll be uploading some Rainbow Six Siege gameplay soon with my friends. So make sure to like and subscribe for more, and I will see you all next time.